Hey everyone, it's Hell's Kitchen again, AfterBuzzers. We're excited because there might be more than one person going home, but you got to stay tuned. Let's go.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey.
Hey, yeah, yeah.
Fire!
I am not about to compete with you, all right? We about to have a sing-off.
Battle runs.
I got
What
you next
is
week.
up, AfterBuzzers? It is the one and only #1 in America syndicated Hell's Kitchen After Show. Just making up a bunch of stuff.
It sounds good.
But it is #1 in the country because it's the only one. But nonetheless, we are the bomb, and we gets down, and people love us. People comment about us, and we're excited
And we
because
love y'all.
it's Hell's Kitchen, and we do. We love everybody. We're gonna ask the engineer to get the live chat going so we can really talk to you because we don't have. Somebody's missing today, but we're going to get into that. But I'm your host, Lim Gonsalves. I'm here, and you can find me all day, every day at The Poet Saint. Next to me, she's a little further away this time.
I know, it's crazy,
But she's still
right?
here. Miss Rhavin, McSweany, what's up?
Hey, everybody. Holding down the Maria Provenzano seats. We miss you.
Yes.
I was going to pour out some tea for you. But I'm your girl, Rhavin, with the V McSweany, and you can find me at B Stays Busy, Bizzy, everywhere.
Yeah. And, of course, the anchor, as always, Mr. Come When I Want To. Frank
taking
Moran.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
It's a family show. It's a family show. It's a family show.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, you can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. You know, I'm sorry I was a little late because I was just the grief of not having any food to eat during the show was killing me. So, yeah, so I'm all right, guys. I'm, with Maria, without Maria here, and I need delicious food. I guess my waistline will be a little bit happier, but
Sure.
right now I'm a little sad.
We're a little famished.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm starving. Like my stomach is growling as we speak. Usually I fast before Hell's Kitchen
Yep.
because I know Maria's going to bring treats.
Right.
So now my stomach might be touching my backbone.
Actually,
it might be.
AfterBuzzers, everybody
be.
should tweet her, Instagram her at Maria Provenzano, and just put like a whole bunch of food emojis
Right.
in the
Yes.
comments and stuff. Okay,
But she'll be
And
back
sad
next
faces.
week. She'll be back next week. So
Hopefully double the food.
double the food. And
Yeah.
I think that's mandatory.
Yes.
I think that's kind of what you need to do.
If you miss a week, you gotta make up
exactly.
for it.
Exactly. For sure. Exactly. Absolutely.
I'm with you,
So,
girl.
but the show must go on. It is Hell's Kitchen, and as always, it's crazy, deranged. We got the live chat going on.
Ooh, can we make it just a titch bigger? I'm sorry, I cannot.
a titch? What is it? Is it?
My-
Can you
my
tell
mom-
what a titch?
A titch means like just a little bit.
A little bit.
It's almost like a touch up.
I've heard of
I
a
feel like-
tinge.
A tinge?
A
That means
tinge
more?
bigger. That means a little bit more. Tinge.
Tinge? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Well, I
but
got
you
it from my
say
mom,
titch.
and
Titch.
titch means more alcohol, please.
Maybe that. Oh, that's strictly for alcohol.
I don't know. She always says, I'll take a titch. And it's normally
Like more
a
alcohol.
pour.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom makes
Awesome.
up stuff. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Can we get a titch more?
Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Ray. I can
Oh,
see. Hey, Kumar.
Hey, what up? What up? What up? What up? We got people in the house, in the chat. We're going to get to you. Keep it moving. Keep the conversation going. So, it is Black Jacket time, ladies and gentlemen. It is the
Official.
elites. And this is how it goes down. So everybody's in black jackets. It is one for all. You got to do what you got to do. Actually, not one for all. It's everybody for themselves,
Yes,
really, is
yes,
what it
yes,
is.
yes.
Everybody for themselves. No more teams. This is when the claws come out, as you can say, because everybody is fending for #1. And so, of course, they're talking, as the show opens, they're talking about their black jackets. They're very excited. They are reaching to this point, and not a lot of people get here. I think they start off with 18 chefs, correct?
Yeah.
And now it's down to 5. So, I mean, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. So,
But I still think when it gets onto the black jackets, though, I think you can't completely operate like it's an all-for-me mentality because ultimately you want to have an awesome service. And if you start looking out just for yourself, you're going to start kind of subtly sabotage the rest of your teammates during your service. It's only going to backfire on yourself.
that's true, but needless, even though you make a great point, it still happens.
Yes.
The sabotage still happens. People still kind of look out for themselves, try to make themselves maybe look better than somebody else. Because again, if they mess up and you don't, you're like, oh, well, I'm off because there's no team. There's no team punishment, all of that kind of stuff. So, but like you said, it does end up backfiring on them. So, in this case, I didn't see really a whole lot of sabotage. There was like some bad cooking. There was some bad cooking, which we'll get into in a minute, which I was surprised. And even Chef Ramsay said this is like one of the worst black jacket services that they've had. So not good. So, but anyway, for the challenge, he actually took them to a nice little high school. And it was funny because they were blindfolded. And
They could smell the
Yes,
kids.
they can smell them.
I can smell school. I'm like, wait,
Smell kids.
how do you smell school? Like, how do you smell kids? Like,
I guess like
they
how
had
you
an
smell
odor?
a doctor's
Office?
or
Like it has a
hospital
certain-
or something. I've never experienced the smell of school, but I haven't been in a while. So maybe once I step foot blindfolded, maybe your senses heighten. I
they
don't know.
did go to the gym.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
I will
see,
say the
there's-
gym
yeah.
does maybe have a certain odor or a certain presence
Sweat,
to it.
tears.
Yeah, there's a lot of sweat and tears.
Yeah.
What kind of high school did you go to, Frank?
It was rough. It was rough. Blackboard High School,
The
man.
sweat and
Ooh.
tears at the
Yeah.
gym. Boy, this is terrible.
I'm like, what high school is that? I need to write that down.
That was terrible. Like, it was jail or high school? Where are you at,
It
Frank?
felt like a jail at times.
felt like a
yes.
jail.
Lockport Township, guys, come on
Right.
down. Yep.
Yeah.
Home of the borders.
The chain gang high school.
Yes.
Right. That's hilarious.
Hockey
Anyway.
day, you'd watch people get their butt whipped.
Right.
And
Oh,
we'd sit on the side and they go, I don't want to go in. I don't want to go in.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So it needs to say they're at high school, Amino Venice High School to be exact, out here in Venice, of course. And they actually display some high school pictures of themselves, which was kind of hilarious. Jared was by far the funniest.
Absolutely.
By far. I thought that
He-
was fake.
He did it look like though?
It did not look real.
It did not look real, and he looked like a broke Fabio. Like he did like with all the hair, and it looked like it was like.
Who did that? That wasn't his natural color, right?
I don't know.
I thought I could see by the roots it looked a little
Yeah,
dark
it
and
had
I
like
was
this
kinda like,
dishwater frost tip blonde action. It was.
I could just see
it
him
was brilliant.
swinging that
Yeah,
back in the
it was.
day.
It's really bad. So
I
don't
needed
know.
not to see him with hair.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Even him, he's like, "Oh, I miss my lovely locks." So I'm like,
We don't.
yeah, you need to keep. So like, someone says, Kamani Brooks says, "School smells like pine salt or ammonia." Probably the janitor's closet.
They're
Yes.
constantly trying to clean up that funk
Exactly.
in the
Yeah.
gym.
True. It is pretty bad. I remember. So the challenge that they have to do is they have 40 minutes to create a unique dish that 100 people can eat. So obviously this is cooking for 100 people, which is a little bit different. They haven't had to do anything of this magnitude in the sense of
Right.
feeding this many people. Usually it's one dish, and that's it. And it's tasted by, one person or several people.
And I do like the kind of guideline as opposed to doing it for adults or kids. It seems to be that like teenagers.
Sure.
That's always kind of a nice little middle road. How do you kind of approach that as
Yeah.
opposed to, because we
Yeah.
always see them kind of dealing with the two extremes.
Absolutely. And it is a different situation. And I think it might have been Ariel that said it's really about being simple,
Yeah.
because you can't cook, something that you would cook for, a Michelin star chef
Right.
that you would for a kid because
Exactly.
the palates are going to be different. They're going to look at this and like, what is this, squid? And what is this? I don't want this, Whereas someone else, you've cooked what you would cook for kids. For a Michelin star chef, again, they're going to be like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
So it is a different situation. So I did like how they mixed it up in that regard to kind of see, the diversity.
Right.
See if you could hang. Kristen made a buttermilk chicken salad, which actually sounded pretty good. I didn't think it would go over well with children, though.
Right.
Didn't seem like it would go well with children
The salad
or
alone,
teenagers,
just
I should
salad.
say. Yeah, anything salady. Anything like that. I mean, vegan-y maybe. I didn't think that would go well with teenagers. Amanda made tacos. Ariel made tostadas, which is kind of close. Ashley made mini chicken pot pies, which I thought could go
that
either
would've
way.
been perfect. I don't
could
know.
go either way.
Yeah, but when she was saying, like, everybody loves chicken pot pie, I'm like, I don't really love chicken pot
I
pie.
don't, but all the
that's-
kids I
yeah.
know, all the young kids I know,
They like that?
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. I feel like that's
See,
like
there you go. Maybe
I don't
it's
know,
more-
like kids. I like maybe old people, like senior citizen, because I feel like that's always on every single senior citizen menu. At the top is
Yes.
pot pie. Like I'm dead serious. It's true. That's why
Yeah.
you're laughing. It seems like it's chicken pot pie is at the top of the senior citizen menu.
Because if I've met at a place like that, the chicken pot pie is the last thing I'm going to think
Right,
of
right.
to have. I'm
I
like,
feel like chicken pot pie is the same thing as like spaghetti, though. It's like comfort food. I would never go to a restaurant and order that. That's something that needs to be made at home.
Exactly. I wouldn't
That's just
order
how it
that.
goes.
I wouldn't order meatloaf.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
meatloaf,
Order,
that's
that's
home.
all in the same. So Anyway, so interesting. And Jared made steak with croquettes, which I thought sounded really good.
What kind of croquettes were they?
I don't remember if they said. He just said croquettes. So it didn't say what was kind of inside them. I'm not sure.
I was curious because it looked so delicious.
Yeah, it did look really good. It did look really good. So everyone's cooking away, and Amanda's kind of doing her thing. And Amanda, at this point, I mean, she's kind of been kind of middle of the road the whole time. But I feel like in looking at her now that she's by herself and no one is kind of pulling for her, I'm like, to me, there's a very much, everyone's here and she's kind of here. That's how I feel like now that everyone's by themselves. She's clearly out of her league.
Yeah, I mean, she's got the enthusiasm and the passion to want to compete, but she just doesn't have the skill and talent level at this point in her career to be able to stay with them.
And I think it's been that way for probably the majority of the season, but she's been able to work with a team and she's been able exactly.
She's been exuding so much fight.
Right, exactly. And that's kind of been helping her stay.
And I'm glad to have seen her make it this far because of that.
Right. But at that moment, I was like, oh, she's out of her league.
It just kind of reveals your weaknesses at that point.
Absolutely, because it is by yourself. It was interesting that nobody wanted to visit Ashley because they don't have a crush on her, according to her.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
I did too. It was that picture. It was that high school picture. Her high school picture.
I think it was her, what she was trying to make, the pot pies. Like,
who's going to go for that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that has nothing to do, because I feel like she is equally as, beautiful as the other two in that regard. And she was trying to say, like, oh, they like Kristen and they like Ariel. And I'm like, she's not bad looking. So it has nothing to do with that.
No.
But Kristen was playing it up. Definitely was playing up the.
She knows how to use what she got to get what she wants.
Prom with you.
But I think it's great. You can do flirt that, and that's just like a little extra.
Yeah.
But you still have to have at least an interesting dish.
Sure.
It's going to make you want to come. Yeah, because chicken pot pie, no matter how hot you are.
Exactly.
She had the least
Because
amount
you
of
can look at
age.
Jared. No one thought Jared was cute, but he had everything. He had double the people that everybody else had because what he had was good. So at the end of the day, it's about the food. Like, let's keep it all the way out. It's about the food. But, they were trying to do what they kind of do. Like how one guy asked Kristen to the prom. That was cute. So,
a few little hair flips.
Right. So they do, of course, the tally. And so they kind of, everybody got grades, and they tally up the grades. And so, I'm not going to go through, who got last or whatever, but first place did go to Jared.
Now, did you think, because going in, like, as good as it looked, I was thinking, like, steak and croquettes, that might be a little bit too, like, students might be like, I wasn't sure. The kids would be, like, immediately gravitating towards that.
It's funny you say that. I think, I don't think that kids would automatically gravitate to that too, but there's kind of a fine line between, like, you want something that they will like, but you also want to elevate something that they would get in the cafeteria. Mm-hmm. And they wouldn't get that in the cafeteria. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So whereas, like, for instance, with Amanda, and she made tacos, she said, oh, my kids love this. And she's thinking mom, kids, little kids, not high school kids. Mm-hmm. And so they're pretty thinking, like, tacos, oh, that's cool, but I want something that's really good.
Yeah.
And I think Jared, obviously he executed it well, which, you had to do as well.
And also at the end of the day, once you taste it, because they had to taste all 5 dishes.
Exactly.
Right? So once you taste it, you're like, no, that one. You should try that one.
Let's
go back for second. So, I think at the end of the day, the taste really matters.
Sure. And if everyone went from A, B, C, D, E, F, or however, E. A, B, C. Been a while since I've been in school.
Got a lot of E's in school, guys.
It's all good. We catch your drift, Lynn.
It's late.
That's what happens when you miss a week. That's what happens when you're gone on hiatus for a week and come back and try and pull it together.
That's what happens when you've been up since 5:30 and you haven't done nothing but drink coffee because Maria didn't bring food.
Right.
So I'm like,
now you're trying to put it on you.
It's all Maria's fault.
Not happening. It's all Lim's fault.
All Maria's fault.
Don't play with
I'm
me.
thinking there's E's in high school. So anyway, as I said, Jared wins, and I think he deserved it. I mean, obviously I didn't taste anything, but it seemed like what he had. To me, it would have been between him and Ariel.
Which
and Ariel,
it was between him and Ariel, and I just thought it was going to be Ariel because I'm just used to
her winning.
I'm
and
just used to Ariel
killing everybody.
dominating.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Exactly. I think it was probably those croquettes too.
Yeah,
because they both were cooking with.
They both did steak.
Yeah, steak. Mm-hmm. So I think the croquettes won it over. So that must have been really good. So this is where it got tricky, and I've seen this in previous seasons. When it usually comes to the Black Jackets and they have the individual winners, typically Chef Ramsay will be like, you get to pick someone to go with you for your reward. And so when I saw that was coming, I'm Not sure about you guys, but I instantly thought he was going to pick Ashley.
Yeah.
Because he at the
Who wouldn't have thought that?
well, at the beginning of not previous episodes, this episode, he was like, oh man, that's my buddy. That's
my best friend.
That's my best friend.
Go
My
best
bestie. Bestie.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, out the gate, it's no brainer. And when he says Kristen's name, Kristen was even shocked.
Everybody, everyone, even the people behind the camera, the executive producers, the associate producers with the hot sheets taking the notes on the sidelines. They were
Everybody.
they probably had already pre-filled like who he was going to choose.
Right. Had the ticket laid out or a name on it. Yeah. Yeah, that was shocker. But the interesting part, and this is what I was saying earlier to back up, is I've seen this a lot of times. I've seen it where there's two people or people bond or, they're friends or whatever on the show throughout through the whole process. Because now we're looking at 2 months or something like this going on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when they pick their person to go, they end up picking someone that people do not expect. And it's for various reasons. One, it's strategic because they may want to, let's say it's somebody they're not that cool with, but they pick them because they want to kind of pick their brain and kind of see where they're coming at because it's a strategy move. Sometimes it is the friend. Sometimes they just want to get to know someone else. And I think in Jared's case, I've seen this before. They will pick, if it's a male, they'll pick a female that they kind of like. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, I picked you, and I like you. So number one, I get to get next to you, and number two, you're not going to vote me in because the friend is already a lock. The friend has already got your back.
So you
now
think,
it's making
but if you don't choose them,
theoretically. But if the friend's got you and you're like, I'm gonna pick this person, now you have a secondary friend. You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get voted in.
Yeah, but I think this is so much different on Hell's Kitchen as opposed to Survivor or Big Brother when you're thinking about like that, because for that it is so much more about the votes and all this. But on Hell's Kitchen, you got to be able to back it up with the cooking.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you could get all the friends on the show and not be nominated in, but we know that Ramsay will pull you off the back line if he thinks you're sucking that particular service and boot you out of the show. So it doesn't matter how many friends you get up there. If your service and your skills aren't there, you're gone. And so I feel like it doesn't matter. So why make that mistake of getting Kristen? Just stick with Ashley. That's your friend. Have a good time. I think why irritate Ashley and just get all this unnecessary drama? Stick with her, have a good time, and then just bring it in the kitchen.
it's all about loyalty.
Yes.
I said this earlier in another after show, but things like this, just start statements like dudes ain't shh.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
dudes
yeah, we
ain't
talked
shh.
about this. Yes.
They aren't shh.
And I'm going to go back in rebuttal of that statement that I believed he did this for the sole purpose is because he wanted to spend time with her, with Kristen, because he would not normally, under regular circumstances, be able to do that. And so he can always spend time with Ashley and kick it with Ashley. So this gives a chance, and Kristen's cute. Let's keep it all the way real.
But what are you expecting to happen in a few hours of hanging out? They get married? That's it?
No.
Let's just send production away and let's get our freak on?
He was being selfish. He was being selfish and then tried to fix it at the end.
Right.
So sorry. Boy, bye. Go somewhere.
Wait. The apology though was class. And they always hype it up with the music in the background. Dude, that was freaking. He was begging for her apology. And I mean, the thing is, you have to know. You have 4 women here. You're the only guy. You have one girl that's in your corner. You have a chance to pick somebody, and you pick another girl. That girl is instantly. You have to know. I don't care how cool you think you are. Immediately she's going to be upset.
Right, and he didn't get to talk to her right after he made his decision. It's like, bye, y'all. We're going to Frisco.
I'm out. So the thing is, like you said, it's better, like you said, Frank, it's not like a Survivor situation. It's better to go with the sure bet and continue that so you don't piss anybody off. If you would have not picked Kristen, she would not be upset because she wasn't expecting
to. She didn't care, exactly.
So, but now you made an enemy with, theoretically with Ashley, and now Kristen's right. But at the end of the day, you've seen how she operates. She could be like, "Oh, thank you," but
she
I'm
wanted
still
you to
voting
go home like last episode.
Exactly.
She's like, send them all home.
Exactly.
But my thing is why would you give anyone the opportunity to ever question your motive?
Right.
Why would you ever put yourself in a position that now you are being questioned.
Right.
You know?
He gave the lamest excuse. He's like, "Oh, I didn't think you like watch football."
No.
That was so dumb.
He made
Nobody
it worse. He
believes
made it
that.
worse.
It was.
He made it worse
You
with
should
that.
just shut up.
The best was they're all in the living room,
Right.
and Jared's sitting on the bed,
Right.
and he has that sad sack look on his face.
And Kristen is just like this.
You're dead to me,
Over there
Jared. You are
sitting,
dead to me.
You're dead. Like, as soon as
I
he
thought
walked
she
in.
counted like several people. She was like, "No more friends, or you are not."
She did, but
I'm
she
like,
was.
who's
It
she
was
talking
all.
about?
It was all for Jared though.
Okay, 'cause
like
I'm
she
like,
was saying that, but it was really.
And he's
she
all-
wanted. But yeah,
was looking like, who
you're
else
dead to me. I can't believe she was so mad, and he just and literally, it's like a little kid. Like he literally walked over to his bed, like. But Ashley, like, you can't be mad. Like, are you really mad at me? Like, I didn't mean to. I didn't really. And then it's so funny, and he's banging her apology. And so then, like, I guess he's thinking he's working her over.
And everyone can hear that in the living room, by the way.
And they're just all getting weak. And then the hug at the end
Oh,
was the worst
yes.
thing. Look like what's his name? The Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack.
Oh, yes, Jack
It was
Skellington,
It
yeah.
was like a Jack. He's like stretching out. She's not moving. She's like super stiff. It's like, dude, you should have
But
just cut
Ashley's
your
so
losses.
sweet because you already know she was just kind of like, okay. 'Cause I would have been like, get off me.
Right.
I would have thrown the bow like, go hug on her.
Oh man, yeah, that was bad. That was bad, and I'm sure he probably. I wish we had him as a guest today.
Today,
Yes.
'cause we
would've
would be
been a
clowning him
perfect
so
time.
bad. I would be
We would've
clowning
been
him
like,
so.
Jared, what are you doing? What is wrong? Let's see. We had Miss Houston or unsub. I can't read it first.
It's Katya.
Katya. I think Jared had the right mindset, but if that was what he wanted, then he should have done this
Yeah,
earlier.
you got to work on that. You got to put in the groundwork a little
right,
earlier.
right.
You don't just work.
Yeah.
You don't work Ashley up and then just leave her on
Just
the
like,
wayside.
you're good. But I really thought. I don't think he thought it through at all. I think he just, like I
Selfish.
said, he took an opportunity. I think he was feeling Kristen. Kristen had nothing. No,
She didn't even know
nothing
he
from
was
him.
feeling her, okay?
I'm just saying. Because what did he say? What was the first thing he said?
I was saying the exact same thing. Women are his vice.
Exactly.
Yes.
He said women's vice. But also when they said after, he's like, when they said, "Oh, I picked Kristen," and then he's like, "Why wouldn't you want to go with a pretty blonde?" You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he
But
already,
also in the challenge, he brought up like, yeah, they're all flocking to Kristen. Like, who doesn't like a blonde? Like
Right,
he
exactly.
keeps talking about.
That's
He
what I'm
was
saying.
He was jealous of that hair on her head. He missed it. He missed it
he
on
was
his own.
working on her this episode. Okay,
Gotta get some of that hair.
Oh man. That was
don't lose
funny.
your best friend, man. Don't lose your best
do
friend.
it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So anyway, I just thought it was hilarious. And that hug at the end. So we get into service. That was like the pinnacle.
Yeah.
We get into service, and this is an opportunity where they, and Chef Ramsay does this also every single season, where they each take turns being a sous chef. So the first and the actual current sous chefs were sitting at the chef's table, so then they had the opportunity to being served by them to kind of just give the difference, the take. And so they each take turns. The first sous chef is Ariel. Of course, Ariel kills it. Ariel's the
Per
bomb.
usual.
Per usual, she kills it. Jared is next, and he's being a little slow with the actual sous chefs, which isn't good because you really should be trying to impress them because they're the ones that are working with you. And I'm sure that the sous chefs have a lot to say to Chef Ramsay. We don't see that, but I'm sure this happens, behind closed doors as far as like, who do you think? Because Chef Ramsay, even though he's amazing, he can't see everything. And plus, he's not there for prep. The sous chefs are.
right.
So they can see how things are in prep, how things are in service, all of that kind of stuff. So you want to impress them. Jared isn't doing very good with that.
Jared was just off his game this
Yeah.
whole episode.
Yeah.
I mean, the best thing he did was he cooked a great meal for the kids. But after
Right.
that, it all went downhill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a shining moment. And then it was like, he sent up a cold lobster tail.
Scallops were kinda raw.
Scallops was bad.
The snapper 2 times.
Right.
And a
Ashley
guitar.
isn't doing too well with her turn. Jared is actually next at the pass, being the sous chef. Amanda's after that. She actually does surprisingly well, which
did
is,
good with
I
being
thought
a
she
sous
was
chef.
going to burn. Only because, again, I'm thinking at this point she's out of her element. I think the thing that got her through, though, was just her drive. She has so much drive, determination. She's always talking about doing it for her kids, and I think she does. I mean, and plus, she's little thing, and she's just, I gotta get it, like a little bulldog. And so she doesn't know it all. And there was a scene where she was just like, where does this go? And she's taking one fish.
She's like, I don't even know where this goes.
I don't even know where this goes.
Just
put it
pour it
there.
around.
We're going to do it. Just do it. So I think, but what helped
she's
her.
being honest, though,
right.
too.
She's being honest.
She's not pretending and then.
Exactly. And she was very vocal, too.
Yeah.
She was very, very vocal, which is helpful.
In that position only.
Exactly. Yeah.
That-
Right. She learned from Frank. Frank taught her. Frank taught her.
Yes. Say my
Frank,
name.
say my name. So Kristen is next. And during Kristen's turn, this is when it kind of turns for the worse. Chef Ramsay is getting frustrated because how food is coming out. It's not coming out properly. It's not being efficient. So he takes them all into the closet. And he tells them to get it together. They come out, and then this is great. They look like little kids. You have to apologize to sous chefs.
Yeah.
So they all go over there like, we're sorry, and we'll not do it again. And then I feel like Christina was like, are you going to do it again? Like she was just like egging it on, like, so are you really sorry?
They were waiting for their apologies because it was like, what? And they're watching them too.
Right.
You can see you can hear some of their commentary.
Oh, absolutely.
What are you doing? Jared, get together.
Right.
And they had some good commentary for Amanda when she was doing the sous chef position.
I did like, though, when they get called back in there, that they started talking amongst themselves, like, should we hop on? You do meat, I'll do fish. We'll just take over the service. We'll run it.
Yeah, she was like, should we finish it?
Yeah.
All right. They were ready to go.
Yeah.
They were ready to go, which was cool. It'd be interesting if that happened. But it seemed like they weren't in there that long, so it's like they kind of came right back out and kind of took care of it. But Chef Ramsay actually was the one that said he was the one that was going to finish, and he said that he was going to do it just simply because they weren't getting it together.
Yeah.
And it was just taking forever.
And it was a little bit interesting twist when they usually get a chance to be the sous chef, where they usually have the other sous chefs also cooking, and they'll do little mini sabotages, stuff like that. That wasn't there, but they had them just sitting at the chef's table, so kind of a little different spin on that.
Right.
It was interesting to see from that
Apparently,
perspective.
there didn't have to be
They didn't have to
in-house sabotaging because they couldn't get it together.
Right. Well, I think that's coming up in the next episode because that usually is when it's 3 people. So, so we'll probably, if it follows the format that it's been the last several seasons, then that will happen where they'll throw different sabotages while they're at the path. Because this is not being a sous chef. That challenge is when they're actually running the path.
Yes.
They're doing Chef Ramsay's job, which is running the path. Yeah, they have to each take turns doing his job, calling out the orders, and then they're checking, doing the quality control, all that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh! So they could easily send something out without checking.
Yes.
Oh no!
So it gets really crazy after that because he purposely has the sous chefs throw sabotages at them to try to see like changing meats or something like that. So they got to make sure it's the right meat, from the order. Yeah, it gets crazy.
And when he said, "Does it look good?" Yes, and then they stop and he goes, "Stop!" And damn it, I screwed it.
Right. So that's good. So we'll probably see that next week. So we get into deliberation. Man, I can't talk right. See that food. See Maria Provenzano. See what happens when you don't show up and you bring food.
Unbelievable. Isn't this crazy, Maria?
I'm literally
the
just
nerve.
on coffee. I'm coffee. I think grades are E's. And I can't spell. I can't say. See, I can't spell. Can't say. Deliberation is an easy word, but according right now, it's difficult because of Maria. So
I'm not letting you put this on Maria, okay?
I'm going to tell her she needs to watch this episode and all the stuff I say. So they go in deliberation. Of course, again, every man for themselves. And just as I assumed, they started going in on Jared and Amanda because they were the weakest. I mean, it clearly.
Those were our predictions last week that it would be out of those two.
It was. And they followed suit. And I think it was just one of those things where that's where they are. I don't think they're going to get any better. And they proved, aside from take away, Jared winning the challenge, in the service, they both did not do well.
Do you think with Jared, it was a case of him, his talents being, he wasn't talented enough, or did he just have like a case of the yips this episode? He was just off his game this particular day.
I mean, I think it's a mixture of both. I think Jared, I think he's solid. He's obviously in Black Jacket, so he's beat out a lot of people to get here. But I think when you look at him versus, and even we'll get into it in a second, not to jump ahead, but versus Ariel, Kristen, and Ashley, he's not measuring up. He's solid, but he's not as good as them, and I don't think he can get as good as them. Yeah, that's where I think it is with him.
Yeah, and I also think that he gets in his own way. He gets in his own head, and and he throws himself off for sure.
Sure.
And we also, when Ashley had her little moment, she really did bounce back.
She did.
I was waiting to see if she was going to have another one, and she hasn't. With Jared, we constantly see this. I'm having a hiccup. But I'll be stronger next week. And it's just like your head is not in the game right now.
Right.
And maybe it is because of the drama with Ashley. Maybe it is. And if that's the case, you should be able to bottle that and take care of business in the kitchen.
True.
So
True.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, because the other thing when he went back to why he picked Kristen, he's like, I wanted to get to know her better so we could work better in the kitchen. But you look at Kristen and Ariel, they don't really like each other. But as Ariel and Kristen both say,
yin and yang.
yeah,
Exactly.
in the kitchen they don't need to like each other.
Exactly.
They just work well together.
And that is the difference between them two versus him and anybody else. Because if you think about it, if it was truly his motive, it didn't work because it didn't help him in the kitchen.
No.
That's why I think the excuse was just one of those like, just to save face. I'm going to say this because it sounds good.
Yeah.
But it didn't pan out, even if that's what he wanted.
I mean, all in all, I just really think this was meant to be a woman's game at the end of the day. So
Why'd you get so quiet?
eliminate the last guy
Here we go.
on the squad. No, I'm very proud of them because in the beginning, the girls were giving me the blues.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I was just
They weren't
like,
able to
what
work
are
together.
y'all doing?
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
Yeah, in the very beginning, they just couldn't.
When it was
work
girls
together.
versus guys, it was just
they
kind of like a
couldn't get it
hot
together.
mess.
The guys seem to be working well together. But I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that I did say that I felt that the stronger people were on the women's side. I want to say that I said that.
I will say that you said it too, just because I don't feel like arguing with you. Frank, yeah. No one's going to argue with you right now, Mr. No hours of sleep.
Right.
Because it is interesting when you can look at both teams and starting with 9 chefs on each team, but you start stripping away all the fluff and the not as talented chefs, and you can get really down to like a really solid core of really talented chefs on that
Absolutely.
team. Or you could, like on the blue team, for the most part, you stripped everybody away, and there still was not that great of a foundation.
Right.
Correct. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. It was like, what was it? 4 red team members and 2 blue team members, right? When it came down to the last 6.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just goes to show. And that's, then the team aspect is not. Because when you first started, you have all, it was 18 chefs. So it's 9 and 9, right? And so you got the 9 people on the red team and the 9 people. And the blue team just seemed to be working more cohesively together. And at that point, no one is really shining because everybody's just trying to get their foothold.
Yes.
But as it whittles down, you start seeing, who is really talented. And the bottom line is, the position is for a head chef position. You got to be able to lead, and you got to be able to do well and be excellent at cooking. And so if you cannot do that, you're going to get eliminated. And that's what happens. And in this case, after deliberation, Jared was the one that was sent up initially. And then, he talks to him, or excuse me, Amanda, my bad. Amanda gets sent up. And so, he says, I want to see one more person. And like you said, he'll pull somebody. And he pulled Jared, which I was not surprised in doing that. And then, he kind of looks at Amanda and he basically says, I'm sorry, but you can't do it. I do like the fact that she went out like a champ.
She did.
She had the best exit of the entire season. Because some people complain, some people give excuses, some people say, I just wasn't talented enough. And she said, I fought every way. I'm better than what I was. She said, I learned more than I have in the 30 years of living.
Yeah.
Like, those are things that you should be taking away from this experience.
Well, I feel like especially when you're in black jackets.
Right.
I mean, that is a really big accomplishment.
Sure.
So I think anyone that's getting sent home from this point on, it should be. I mean, because even in the story, there's a little package when they go home. They show them from where they started.
Right.
Like, this is black jacket swag. You know what I'm saying? Like, go home with your head held high. You made it very far, and I respect you.
Absolutely.
And that's what Chef Ramsay said. He was like, I respect your fight. Get
Absolutely.
it, little tiger.
Little tiger.
Shout out to Amanda.
Right. No,
and
she
those
held it
3
down.
babies, girl.
She held it. Yeah, she talked about them kids, boy. Named them and everything.
I know. She did.
She called them out, boy. I'm coming home to my babies.
Yes.
So, of course, Jared, he's kind of just posted like, and he's like, can I go back now?
Yeah,
I'm
he's
sure.
like, yeah, I
in his
dodged that
head.
bullet.
I
Yeah.
really didn't think he was going to
Yeah.
send him home because the way he words things, and he said the person going home tonight.
Right,
So
right.
it wasn't like Jared. Like, he didn't
Right.
just blurt out a name.
Right.
So I was like, okay, Amanda,
Yeah,
okay, fine.
right.
I didn't know who was going to get sent home. I knew it was going to be out of those 2. It would have felt weird for him to send Amanda home and keep Jared for some reason, because Jared, I feel like, has been really like dropping the ball a lot lately. And I get it. They made a very valid point in regards to Manda. Like, you're going to be heading a steak house, a steak restaurant, BLT steak, so you can't mess up the steak. But I was like, Jared messed up like 5 things. I had it written in my notes. I was just like, both of them.
Right.
But I didn't know he was going to say
He was
both
doing
of them.
that. So were you guys surprised when he ended up sending Jared home too?
I was surprised because usually I thought it would go into to 4 for the final thing, and then they do like you were saying, like if they have like the run the pass, then it cuts it down to 2, and then you go into this. So to actually do the double, I was surprised.
Right. I was definitely surprised.
I can't disagree for sure.
Were you surprised as Ariel? Did you see Ariel's face? That was hilarious. Like,
if anything, regardless, she has the best facial reactions throughout the whole entire season.
It was so, like, he literally is like, Jared, take off your jacket. She's like, her eyes are so big. and then it happens again because, take off your jacket doesn't mean you're going home. So it was like, take off your jacket. She's like, and then he's like, and you're going home. Like, it was just, it was the best thing ever. It was the best thing ever, dude. It was great. But you're right, Frank. And looking at previous seasons, he usually kind of leaves it at 4, and then he does a double elimination to get to 2 people. That's typically what he does, and it like makes it very dramatic and stuff like that with the whole, pictures up and everything. And he just did it different. And I agree with his decision because, again, I think Jared was kind of done at that point. I don't think he was going to get any better. I think he had plateaued. And like I said, I think the 3 women ahead of him were just so far ahead of him. They were just that much better.
And I'll give it up for the season where it's thrown a few little zigs where I thought they would have zagged before, like doing the double elimination now.
Right.
So it's nice to see them kind of switching things up just a little bit.
Sure. It seems, it would appear that it's actually going on to, like, they're going with how it's, by the personality. It's not like, okay, we have this formula and we're just going to do 2 this time or just 1. Like, I feel like with him pulling, because I feel like he's pulled more people out of the back, like more so than ever this season.
Which I feel like he's more in tune with what's going on in his kitchen and what's going on in his bunkers.
Exactly. Which I think is good because then the real people are staying. The people that deserve to stay are staying. It says... Houston is talking again. She says, I ruined myself on this episode because I look up at the series on Wikipedia Google and it said next episode was 3 chefs compete.
Oh,
stop doing that.
Don't run to the internet.
Don't do it. Don't
run to the internet.
She also says Amanda's so positive in the fact that even though she didn't win, she still had her chin high and talked about how much it would make her kids' life better, which I agree.
I'm proud of her too. I am very proud of her.
Exactly.
Because they were gunning for her. One of y'all was gunning for her too.
I'm not gonna say no names, I just wanted her clothes to fit. I just wanted her clothes and her glasses.
Oh, and Maria just wanted her glasses. Was that not funny? Wait, Ariel did do a thing like, wait, was it Ariel? Someone did it in this episode. And they kept like,
put up.
They
her
were
glasses.
reenacting her, and I was like, it's never stood out to me so much until Maria brought it up.
Right, and now you see it all the time.
Yes.
But I think everything, like, she's so little and her clothes seem big, her glasses seem big.
But like to the point where I'm even watching Chef Christine when she was at the VIP table and she had her glasses on, and immediately I'm like, those look like they fit her, like appropriately. Like,
why can't
what's going on with it?
Like she said, what is those ties that you can have?
We're not getting into that again. We're not.
I'm just saying, it looked like she could have had it, but
she probably has different set now.
Right. Sure, I would hope so. Yeah. I would hope so. But anyway, so now it's down to 3. So it's down to the nitty-gritty. So I think it's a perfect time to get into predictions.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
Let's get into it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right. So 3 chefs are left. We have Ashley, we have Kristen, and we have Ariel. Very strong, all of them.
Yes.
Who do you think? I'll start with you, Frank. Who do you think goes home next week?
No, well, the first thing I'm going to do is not look on Wikipedia.
Right.
I do not want to know. I don't want to be spoiled.
Stop it.
Right.
But then after that, I would think is certainly, and as for as many few seasons I can remember off the top of my head, like I don't know if I've seen like a stronger final 3 where other than Ariel that I feel rock solid is going to do it. Man, I can go either way with Kristen or Ashley. They both are strong, and I think it's just going to depend like who brings their best A game that day.
Right.
I mean, if and just looking at it, if I had to just base it on their previous experience this season, mean, we saw Ashley have that little moment. I would only say that I give Kristen the leg up just because of that. But I mean, they've both been strong.
Right.
So because of that, I'll go with Ariel and Kristen. Make it to the final 2.
Ariel, Kristen, and Ashley.
Ashley going.
Okay. Rhavin.
Okay. So, I've been rocking with Kristen for a while.
Right.
She was, she inspired me because she was on probation.
Oh, yeah, that's
and started cooking. That was like
I forgot about
thing.
that.
I was just like, oh, hey. Not that I've been on it or anything. It's just, it added some spunk to her character for me.
But it's good to know that when you get on probation, you have
I'll be
something
cooking up a storm, honey. And then I'll be trying out for Hell's Kitchen. Don't play. But obviously, Ariel is like in the winner circle for me. I want to say, Kristen, Frank, you brought up the point where like Ashley had her little moment, but then there was a point where Kristen had a moment on Garnish. She was bringing up string beans when he was asking for asparagus. So.
But she didn't cry. So I only give it that.
She did not cry. And she did not fold when Jackie was like throwing ashtrays and stuff at her.
True.
This is really hard. Can I just say who I think is gonna be the winner? Or should I just say who I think is gonna go home next? He's like,
That's what I'm asking. Who do you think is gonna go home
next? I don't want to. Okay. No, wait. I'm sorry.
This is the most important decision you'll ever make in your life.
I think it might be Kristen.
Kristen.
Ashley with her fathers,
Do you know they own restaurants?
Yeah,
I don't know if you know
several.
The Funky Monkey and all that.
Right.
I don't know. She's been getting a lot of compliments in service. I don't know.
Better for that chicken pot pie.
I'm just gonna say Kristen. I don't know. I still love Kristen though. Don't ask me what you think, Lim.
Don't ask me.
No, don't. I don't want to answer this.
I mean, I just did.
I don't want to answer this. So next week when I'm like, yep, I said that one.
Right.
I just want to jump on all of them.
Okay. So I'm gonna go. I mean, I think Ariel, there's no way she's going to go home. She's super strong. She's never,
I would boycott this show.
Yes, right.
If she went home.
I don't think she's going home. I think it definitely is out of Kristen and Ashley. And if I had to pick from one of the two, I would pick Ashley to go home only because I feel like Kristen has been more consistent. I think Ashley, I mean, they've each had, moments here and there, but I think Ashley has had a lot more moments where it wasn't good for her. You know what I'm saying? And so I think when it gets down to the 3, and then also just looking at, if mine and Frank's prediction is correct with, going this, take with the show where they each have to run the pass, I can't see Ashley being better than Kristen.
Yeah, Kristen's a little more assertive.
And Kristen more assertive, and especially Ariel. So like I said, she's definitely beating Ariel. And I just think just for that alone, like forget cooking, just running the pass, I just can't see Ashley running the pass better than Kristen.
Well, I'm going to just throw a wrench in it anyway and just go for the underdog. So we'll see.
So you think Kristen might go home and then it'd be Ashley and Ariel.
I'm just going to say that.
Okay.
All right. I mean, ultimately, I think it's Ariel's game to lose. For sure.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
At this point, yeah.
Absolutely.
There's no arguing there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I think it's going to be Kristen and Ariel.
Maria, what do you think?
We'll have to find that out later. But anyway, I think those are good predictions. And I think either way, we all agree Ariel is the strongest, and it'll be interesting to see.
And she got an injury. And people with injuries who make it to the finals, come on.
I know. History has
pimp-walking her way through.
I'm just saying. But we'll have to see. But I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be amazing.
Either way.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, the music is on, so that means we have to stop talking. I've been your host, Lim Gonsalves. We want to thank you for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week because we will definitely have one guest. We might have 2 guests, so you got to tune in to find out. And Maria will be back with food, so I won't starve to death.
He's just making her come back with food.
I've been your host, Lim Gonsalves. You can find me all day at The Poet Saint. Where can they find you, Rhavin?
Rhavin with the V here. You can find me at B Stays Busy, BIZZY. Follow me, I'll follow back.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. Greater episode. Let us know. Did we get all E's? Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. You know what? Forget you, Frank.
Straight E's.
We out of here. Peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.